people, Jason the tour guide here, and welcome to the video. It is a milestone. It is the 10th video, so we've made it, the first milestone. So I'd like to thank everyone. There's been a few views, even a few subscribers, which I find amazing, but I'm very honoured to have. And a request, which is exciting. So as it's the first request, I'm very excited to take it on. Not only was it the first request, but it's also a request about literary London, and that is a big reason why I like to do these walks. So I've just walked up Regent's Park Road from Chalk Farm Station like I did on the first video, and I'm going to turn left onto Fitzroy Road, a lovely street with a lovely pub and a lovely cafe at the end of it. I mentioned this in the first video too. It's where the Irish poet William Butler Yeats lived when he was young. A bit about Yeats. He was born in Dublin. He was fascinated by Irish folk culture and mysticism and the occult, and all these themes can be found in his poetry. He entertained a hopeless passion for an heiress, Maud Gonne, to whom he dedicated his early poems. He proposed to her many times without success, and later he tried his luck with her daughter, and that was unsuccessful too. And in 1917, having proposed fruitlessly to 3 other women in a year, he finally was successful when he married his younger wife, Georgie, at the age of 52, after meeting her at a séance. So I love that story. It goes to show, never give up hope. And Yeats was awarded the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1923, the first Irish writer to receive it. However, a lot of people come to see this house. They actually come to see it for a much sadder reason. This neighbourhood is very famous because it is where the tragic American poet Sylvia Plath lived and ultimately died. So I'm going to turn left here on Chalcot Road, approaching Chalcot Square. Lovely rainbow-coloured houses here. I always tell people it reminds me of Cherry Tree Lane from Mary Poppins. So Sylvia Plath met and married the poet Ted Hughes, and in February 1960 they moved into Chalcot Square, into a third-floor flat at number 3. If you want to do a little literary pilgrimage yourself, when this area was apparently quite down at hill. It's quite hard to imagine that now, looking at all these very well-to-do, very beautifully painted houses. So after just 2 years together, Hughes was something of a womanizer. The marriage ended, and Plath moved with her children to a house just a few hundred yards away to number 23 Fitzroy Road. So it had a plaque for W.B. Yeats, a fact that greatly excited Plath. Plath had a history of psychological problems, and she'd tried suicide once before, and it was exacerbated, they say, by the fact that this was the coldest winter for over a century, and the strains of being a single mother with 2 very young children. And about 6 a.m. on Monday, the 11th of February 1963, it was in the flat in Fitzroy Road where she took her own life. So it's a very sad story. So I don't want to finish our little virtual walk on a complete downer. I'm going to walk further up this street back onto Regent's Park Road. So I showed you Regent's Park Road on the first Primrose Hill video. It's a beautiful small street, quite upmarket and artistic. So a few writers live on this street and around it. And I showed you that little bookshop, Primrose Hill Books, and a lot of writers have been seen around there, the likes of Alan Bennett, Ian McEwan, and Claire Tomerlin. And it's very well known because on this street, Kingsley Amis, the writer, lived, and his son, Martin Amis, has lived here for a time. I'm not sure if he still lives here at the moment. So we're going to have a look at the Queen's Pub. That was his regular from 1985 until his death 10 years later. And they say his later life can be traced just all along this short and very pretty stretch of road. He spent a lot of time in the Queen's pub and in the little French restaurant Odette's opposite, at the end of Regent's Park Road, or at the beginning of Regent's Park Road. Basically, the other end of Regent's Park Road is number 194, and Kingsley Amis moved there in 1985 in an unusual arrangement. His first wife, Hilly, lived in the basement with her third husband, while Amis had separate quarters upstairs. So Martin Amis would visit and bring his children at the weekends, and the whole family was together. That strikes me as quite a funny and quirky relationship, but a very nice one. And on that note, I'm going to finish our little walk. So that was Literary Primrose Hill. I hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching our milestone 10th video. See you next time.